In the previous episode, I talked about growing up, feeling like my brain never shut off, and how I learned to cope in ways that eventually hurt me and those around me. Today, I want to talk about something that shaped most of my adult life, something I didn't even realize I was doing at the time, and that is masking. For me, masking wasn't a decision. I didn't wake up one day and think, I'm going to pretend to be someone else now. It happened slowly, happened quietly. I just learned over time that being myself didn't land very well in most instances, so I adjusted. Um, I learned how to act in class, how to act at work, how to act in conversations, and I watched other people closely and tried to copy whatever seemed safest. It's not because I wanted approval, but because I wanted fewer disparaging comments, fewer looks, and less unsolicited feedback. Masking is a survival skill. It's what happens when you realize early on that your natural way of being just causes friction. So you tone yourself down. You keep parts of yourself quiet. You stay busy. And from the outside, it can look like competence, confidence, and even strength. People say things like, "Well, you handle a lot," or "You're strong. You always figure it out." And what they don't see is how much effort it takes to just exist, to just look okay at that particular moment in time. Masking is exhausting. It's like running background software in your head all day long, monitoring your tone, your facial expressions, your reactions. You're constantly asking yourself, was that too much? Was it not enough? Did I say the wrong thing? And if you're neurodivergent, or you're carrying trauma, or both, there's no off switch for that. It's just constant. It's always there. For me, masking showed up as overcompensating, trying harder, pushing through, staying productive. If I stayed busy, no one could question me. And honestly, if I stayed busy, I didn't have to really feel how overwhelmed or fried I was becoming at the current time. And alcohol made masking easier. It lowered the effort required to keep everything together. For a while anyways. Here's the part that took me a long time to understand. Masking absolutely works until it doesn't. You can override your nervous system for years, sometimes decades, but your body always keeps score. Eventually it all catches up in the form of burnout, anxiety, depression, anger, addiction, health issues, and many times all of those things come to visit at the same time. And for me, the mask didn't come off because I was ready. It came off after my second son had passed away in June of 2020. And I had already been carrying a lot since then. We lost our first son to SIDS in 2011. And that kind of grief doesn't disappear. You just learn how to carry it. By 2020, there was just no energy left to perform. There was no version of fine that really made sense anymore to me. I tried to keep masking for a while after that, but I couldn't. I didn't even understand what was happening at the time. Everything felt raw, visceral, and unfamiliar. And my drinking got worse after that too, as did the impulsivity, so much worse. And I'll delve deeper into that in another episode. What matters here is this. That wasn't healing yet. That was just the mask being off. When the mask does eventually come off, it isn't relief at first. It's exhaustion. There's grief for what could have been. There can be bitterness toward the systems, the expectations, and the people that played a role in making masking necessary in the first place. And then suddenly you're relying on a nervous system that never really learned how to feel safe. A nervous system that had no real training, just survival. And that's not failure, that's just honesty catching up. It took me a long time to let go of the anger and the sadness and the bitterness. But the reality is if you want to move forward, those buried emotions eventually, they have to be addressed and healed. And it's about freeing yourself from years of bottling everything up, not necessarily fixing or forgetting, because that might not even be possible. It's a total mindset shift. It takes work. It's absolutely ongoing and there's no finish line, but it's worth it. You eventually start to see how much you held yourself back with masking too, and especially with substance use. So I started playing guitar when I was around 13 and played fairly consistently over the years. A couple years ago, I got back into music in a big way. And I found that having the mask off, being sober and being present helps me tremendously with songwriting and expanding my musical understanding. And that actually bled into other areas of my life as well. And that's just one example. If you're listening to this and recognizing yourself in all of this, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not broken. You adapted to survive in a world that wasn't kind to you. Masking doesn't mean you failed. It just means that you figured out how to get through. You figured out how to survive. Now the work is different. Now the work is about learning how to live without performing. If nothing else, I hope that this episode gives you permission, I'll say, I guess, to slow down a little bit, to stop proving, to stop pushing yourself to that point of burnout. You don't need to earn rest, and you don't need to justify being yourself. Just keep moving forward as your authentic self.